Hello, and today we will be talking about a few German restaurant etiquette that you should know before dining out here in Germany. Welcome and thank you for watching this video. If you're new here, my name is Brigitte, and to give you some background information, my husband Devin and I are currently stationed in Kaiserslautern, Germany. We've been here since September 2018 and we have about a year left. So we will be returning home to America around 2021. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe down below and give it a thumbs up. If you have any tips or suggestions about videos or things that I should add to something like this and do a part 2, make sure to comment below. And if you want to follow us on social media, we love to interact with people, so be sure to check out our accounts. Also, if you are moving here or have been living here, I did just recently post a video, and I'll link it up here, about just a few things you should know before living in Germany. So check that one out. This is just a little extension of that series. So let's get started. Before we go to the actual tips of going into an actual restaurant here, the first thing I just want to put out there is if you are going to a restaurant in a foreign country that's different than your original country, for example, like America, don't have any expectations and don't compare anything to what you previously know. This is a new experience, so just take it all in and just learn from it. I've learned from even myself or just like dining with others, if you compare and contrast to what you think or what you know service should be, you'll just have a terrible time. Life is different here in Germany. It's not going to be the same, so don't expect it to be the same. Okay. Enough with that, let's get into these tips. How I'm going to set this up is just like how you would when you start entering a restaurant, like the first, second thing, whatever it is, that's how it's going to be organized and how I'm going to share them. So the first thing you should know, if you are wanting to go out to a restaurant in Germany, make a reservation. I have a fly in my house because I have the door open, because if you saw my other video, there's no AC in Germany and it's beginning to get hot. Anyways, make a reservation. A lot of these tips I feel like work in a normal situation in Europe. Reservations is common in Europe and they honor it, and it will save you so much stress and so much hassle if you just prepare ahead. I'll explain a little later of the reason why reservations are so important, because it coincides with another tip. But just know that that's a big thing here. If you go to a restaurant in Germany, you'll typically see like a name. So for example, cook 1300, 1 p.m. And when you go and sit at that table, they'll usually go, you can sit at this table, but just know it's only available to 1 p.m. So that lets you know as a customer that if it's 12 o'clock, I only have 45 minutes to sit, take my order, hope that my food gets in time, and I have enough time to enjoy it. So if you don't think that's a sufficient enough time and they say they're full, then they're full and you just have to find another restaurant. Another big thing is that they don't really have wait times here in Europe. If the restaurant is full, and I've experienced it for myself, if it's full, then you just kind of have to find another restaurant because they don't know when another table will be open. And again, I will explain that later to make sense, because I'm sure people are like, how do they not have wait time? How does that happen? I promise I will explain to you later in the video. So stay tuned. The next thing, once you go to a restaurant, you should have cash. Cash is very important in Europe because a lot of restaurants, a lot of restaurants are so authentic. There's not a lot of corporate restaurants here, so they're mom and pop restaurants as we know in America. And so they don't take debit or credit cards. And that is just helpful in a day-to-day life here in Europe, because a lot of times grocery stores or like convenience stores or whatever you want to call them, even their credit card machine will be down, and it's not unusual for that to happen. So cash will help you so much. There's been so many times where we've gone to a restaurant and we'll be crossing our fingers and be like, do you see a card machine? Do you see someone else using their card? And just like, okay, we have it. And just to relieve that stress, carry cash. So now, once you go to the restaurant, you are ready to order a beverage when you sit down, right? There's a lot of major things you need to know when it comes to beverages. 1, there are no refills. 2, there is no ice. Beverages are typically served at room temperature. And 3, water. Water is a big and elaborate topic, which is so crazy to think because in America, you can just have your water and it will be free and all this stuff. It is not free in Europe. It is not free in Germany, especially. It is very expensive, okay? So it comes in 2 different sizes, and like I said, there's no refills. So there's Klein, which is small, which is just a typical individual bottle, same size as like an old-fashioned Coca-Cola bottle that you can have for yourself. Oh my gosh, these bugs are coming in my house and it's frustrating me. Anyways, 2, Gross. Gross is a liter bottle of water, which is typically used to be your own individual refill, which I usually have to get a liter by myself because I drink a lot of water, or you can share it amongst the table. So people typically get a handful of those if you're dining with multiple people, and that's what they share amongst themselves. The next thing when it comes to water, not only are there 2 sizes, but there are 2 different kinds of water. If you automatically just say, I want a bottle of water, you will get gas water, aka sparkling water, aka carbonated water, whatever you know it by. That's their standard water that they give. However, if you want regular water without gas, then you order still water, and that will be your normal water that you typically get. Some restaurants do have tap water, so if you're comfortable with that, you are welcome to order tap water, and sometimes it's free. Sometimes they'll give you like a big pitcher of tap water, which is really convenient because they will just refill that, and that will typically be free. Sometimes they charge, you don't really know. And to give you an idea of how expensive water is here, the individual water could be around €2.75. That's a lot, right? But a liter bottle of water can range from like €5 and up, a little bit less sometimes, but on average it's like €5. Quite pricey. In fact, it's more expensive than beer, as crazy as that may sound. So just keep that in mind when you're ordering, especially if you have a big family. Just know that you'll probably have to calculate that as you're choosing your meal as well. So just keep that in mind. Once you are ready to order, this will go and this will now back up the reason why you must reserve. So when you are ready to order, make sure to close your menu. This is something that I've actually been surprised that a lot of people don't know, and sometimes when we share them, we're like, close your menu, close your menu. They'll be like, why? And we're like, that's the sign to let the waiter or waitress know that you are ready to order. The reason being is because in Germany, you will not find a restaurant where there are a constant or regular check-in from the waitress or waiter. Of course, they'll come here and there, but like unlike the States where they're constantly coming, 1, because you have refills, well, here you don't have refills, and 2, just to like check and converse and all that, doesn't really happen here. And the reason for that, again, why we make reservations, is because it is practice here that you can linger and socialize and stay at a restaurant for a long time. It's not unusual for people to do that. That's why they have time slots. That's why they don't have a wait time. That's also why they don't know when a table will be open. So when a waiter or waitress frequently check your table, it's known here to be rude and inconsiderate, and that you're rushing them to get out. And that's just not something they believe in here. They believe in staying for a long time and enjoying your meal and enjoying your company. Yes, we have witnessed this at the buffets here because we do enjoy our buffets when they were open. And we have seen families just sit there, take a break, talk a while, order a little something here, order a little something there, refresh, and hit the buffet line again. It's completely normal here. For example, we were at a restaurant, one of our favorite restaurants here, and we had 2 hours, but they were telling us, they were like, okay, if you come here and eat at 6 p.m., we have a party at 8 p.m. So we had to make sure that we got out at 8 p.m. If there's no reservations after 8 p.m., you can stay there until closing time. Pretty crazy. But it's awesome. I think it's awesome, but it's something you need to keep in mind when you come here. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people do get bothered that they're not frequently getting asked by a waiter or waitress, and that's simply why. The last thing I want to mention in this video is the topic of tipping. I know that typically, at least from what I knew before I got here, is that you don't tip in Europe. However, since I've been here on the Facebook spouses pages, I have seen that you are supposed to tip. So I'm confused. And if you have any answers to that, please leave a comment below. So for our sake, my husband and I typically, for example, if our bill is $12.75, we will just pay them $14. So we make it a whole number and we add a little on top of that. Just because that's how we practice. It's not 18% like America, but that's to kind of keep us, I guess, positive or happy. I don't know. So the reason for that too, the reason why I'm also confused about it is because whenever we order takeout, or it has happened when we go to a restaurant, when we tip people, they sometimes get really shocked. Like a lot of the times when we have food delivery, we'll tip them only like €2 or something. Not anything as much as like we would in the States. And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course, it's said it's because they don't work at the same pay rate as they do in America. So I'm not quite sure. Again, if anyone wants to shed some light on this answer, feel free to let me know, because I would love to know if I am ripping someone off, if this is something I need to do and add to my routine. It would be greatly appreciated. And the last thing I want to say, and just a little tip and side note, I guess, not a fun fact because it's a sad fact, but restrooms in Europe in general cost money. Yes, you have to pay to go to the bathroom here. If you are dining in a restaurant, you do get to use the restroom for free because you are eating there. You know, you're a paying customer. Other than that, it can be from 25 euro to like €2. I think the most I've ever paid for is €2. I think it was like a restroom in France or something. I can't remember. But it is a real thing. So if you are someone that frequently uses the restroom, plan it wisely, or again, keep cash with you, especially the coins. Coins are your friends. And if not, if you have a family of a large family with a lot of kids, take advantage of your restaurant stops. It will add up, I promise. So there we go. All right, everyone. So I hope you were able to take away something from this video and that it was helpful. If it was, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any video suggestions for the future, be sure to leave a comment. The next video I think I want to post is a little grocery information and just like rating the local grocery store. So if that is something that you think would be helpful, please let me know. I make these videos to help make your experience in Germany and in Europe in general that much easier. So I just want to know what benefits you all. And make sure to check out our other videos while you're here. Other than that, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.